What up, knock lifers? I got some more stories, man. I got a Schmoxy switchover this last week. He had actually used Schmoxy in the past, but he had canceled them a while back. So I'm going to talk about how I signed him up. But anytime you get somebody that has used a service in the past and they canceled, and so they're currently not using a service, one, it's important to realize that person will sign up again for pest control. Two, you got to know why they canceled their last service. It's important to get that information. You can use that to build value with what you're doing, right? And then what's another one? Another thing is just find out why they signed up in the first place, right? So cool. It's always a good question to ask people. Hey, have you ever used a service in the past? Okay, what was the reason you got started with them? Do you remember? Gotcha. It was the ants. Okay, cool. And they took care of you for a while. All right, cool. And when's the last time they've been out here? Okay, so you're not using them, right? Okay, cool. Well, I've noticed you guys still got a lot of spider webs up here, and a lot of the neighbors are getting silverfish inside. And I've had a few people out here switching from that company too. What was the reason you stopped using them? Right? Ask those questions. Get a dialogue going. They could tell you some valuable information that could let you know what's important to them, right? But this guy, I think his name was Joel Salmante, and he had used Schmoxy in the past, but the time I talked to him, he wasn't using them anymore. And I think it was a price thing. They'd maybe been overcharging him, or he got to a point where he's like, I don't want to pay that much, right? So that's another thing too, is you ask people, hey, how much were you paying each time they came out? Oh yeah, that's kind of pricey. Yeah, and then listen to them, what they say. So he had kind of been telling me, yeah, they got to be kind of pricey. I never noticed a difference, that kind of thing. So I knew he was price conscious, and I knew that he was service. He was like, I didn't see a difference. It wasn't worth it for me. So what I had to do was build up what we do and why it's worth it. I had to build up the need. I had to talk about the spiders that are existing. I had to talk about the fact that his neighbors are still getting spiders. And I had to talk about the spiders have been inside, right? And then I had to ask him, you've probably seen them, right? Where are you seeing them? Get him talking about that. Remind him of the pain. Remind him of why he signed up. And then find other hot buttons. Hey, do you guys have fruit trees? Yeah? Okay, because some of the neighbors are getting the rodents in there too. Blah, blah, blah. And then talk about, fleas or whatnot. Touch on all the points of service that you're covering. Spiders, ants, fleas, rats. Start to get some hot buttons. Start to get them to agree with something. By the time I had done that, I had gotten him to agree on spiders. I had gotten him to agree that, yeah, there's a rodent concern, but he's not seeing anything right now. And I had gotten him to agree they're still getting spiders inside, right? So with him, we got signed up, we got set up. There came a point where I said, yo, let me show you how it works. Pull out the paperwork. Turn around, pull out the paperwork, say, look, let me show you how it works. Everybody out here loves that we do a money-back guarantee. So like before, when you weren't happy with your previous company, with us, we stand behind our work. We want to make sure that you're happy, and we're 100% committed to you. It's pretty cool, right? And get that soft yes, or get them to agree with that, right? Most of the time they won't be there all the way, but they will cough up the next objection or next question they have, right? And then we get into paperwork. I start filling it out, and then he's kind of hung up on a time slot. He can't do it tomorrow, and I keep pushing for tomorrow, and he can't do it tomorrow. Finally, I'm like, we're gonna come back to the time slot. I need to keep the momentum going, so let me move on to other parts of the paperwork, right? So then I said, now Joel, we're always gonna notify, so you say something like this, look, we'll find a time that works for you. I'm pretty confident about that. But as far as the other details about our service plan, this is what a lot of people love. We always notify you before we come out, right? So then the next thing I'm doing is I'm getting the phone number, right? Then I'm getting the notes about the bugs. And then I say, look, after each service, we're always gonna email you. So I'm filling out the paperwork piece by piece. He's about 80, 90% there. And I know that I'm gonna resolve his final objections kind of at the end when we're getting signatures and payment, right? And then we get down to the end, and he says, is this a how long is this contract for? How long is this commitment? And I said, Joel, well, I'll be honest, I want a long-term commitment. I want to move in, and I want a 10-year contract with you. And he starts laughing, you know, so get a laugh out of him, break the ice. And then I just said, no, it's just the first 12 months. You're going to love it. All of our techs are awesome. And, you know, if you give me a shot, I'm pretty sure we'll be the last pest control company that you ever have to hire. And so he's like, okay. So he initials on the 12 months. And then we get down to the autograph. I'm like, yo, I need an autograph right here. And then we get to payment, and he's holding out on me. He doesn't want to give me a card, right? And I said, look, Joel, I got to put a card on file for when we come out here now. And he goes, is this going to be an automatic payment? And I say, now, Joel, we never give you any surprises. We're always going to notify you before we come out. And then we come out and service the home. And then a day or two after the service, we process the payment. Then we send you an email, so you always have a receipt. What I need on file today is just a debit or credit, and we'll be all set. Then he gives me like another objection or whatever, and I kind of roll over it, reassure him, hey, look, it's fine. We do everything electronically. If you just want to grab a Visa or MasterCard, we can get all set. So I gave him the first option, debit or credit. The next option, Visa or MasterCard. I still got in my back pocket like a voided check if I really need it, right? And then finally, you know, I think on the third objection, oh, it was a silence close. So there'll come a point where you just need to shut up and just be silent and let them give up and go get their card, right? So I said, Joel, you are going to love my service. We do 100% money back guarantee. I'm not asking for 10 years. I'm just asking you guys give us a shot. Now we do want to get you done while we're out here, and I do want to save this slot for you. I just need to have a card. We do everything electronically. And just like that. And then after like 5-10 seconds, he said, well, okay. So he went inside, got the card, right? So sometimes you just need to pause, end, and don't say anything more. And wait for them to be like, okay, fine. So yeah, that was the big one I noticed at the end of that sale. But yeah, that's a Knock Life story. That's one of the sales I got this week. And if you guys have any comments or questions, anything you want to talk about, let me know. Email me, put some comments on here, and subscribe. But I hope you guys are having fun this summer, and go out there and have some fun, knock some doors. All right, y'all.
Where your money at? Where your money at? Where your money at? Where your money at?